friends. This is Gladys Ellen, and welcome to Heavenly Hugs, a podcast guided by angels. It is here I will share my personal angel stories and insight so that you too can be uplifted and blessed by these beautiful beings of light. Hi, friends and fellow Earth angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to my podcast. It has been a few months since I've recorded my last podcast, and it kind of just got to the point where I needed to focus on the completion of some projects. I had a lot going on all at once, and I've been doing some inner healing, some inner work, and I felt like I needed a break from what I was putting out, and I needed to check in with my own authenticity and who I am and where I'm going and what I want to do. I mean, I love putting the podcast out. I love sharing the information. These last couple of months, I've just been jotting down ideas. And, honestly, sometimes when you get away from something, it's just hard to get back. So the Archangel Sandalphon has been calling me back to this podcast. He's an angel that I haven't talked about yet in my earlier podcasts. I would actually be in my third season. So this would be the third season. We're going into the third year of me channeling and sharing information on this podcast. And the first season was more of the angels and their specifics, who they are, their colors, and my angel stories. Last year, I did more topics geared towards how to incorporate them in your life, my own visions that I was getting and how I use the angels. And then a compilation I would give, the girls, Angel, Haniel, Jophiel, and Ariel. I would talk about money angels, Shamuel and Raphael, and so on and so forth. So when I came into this year, I recorded one Happy New Year podcast. And then, I built a brand new website that was way more time consuming than I expected. And I started a YouTube channel. I love working with the angel cards, and I was asking for guidance on how I could reach more people, and starting a YouTube channel where I was doing weekly angel card readings came to me. So I've been focusing energy on that. Basically, I am reframing my foundation and creating more of a stable foundation with the content and the stuff that I put out, so that it's authentic and true to who I am right now in this moment. We're all on a healing journey. We're all growing and expanding. And I have to always be honest to know that, it's important for me to share that I'm on this journey with you. I'm going through stuff as well as a human. And sometimes I need to take pause and recheck in and recalibrate and make sure I am staying true to myself, because that will be the most genuine, honest, authentic information that I put out right here and right now. So sometimes you may listen to these podcasts and it may be stuff you already know and may need a refresher, and maybe stuff you're hearing for the first time. So I always encourage you to just take in what resonates, whatever you're feeling as truth. Check in with your own intuition. So I started talking about the angel Sandalphon. So Sandalphon has been calling me back to this podcast. So Sandalphon's color is like a teal turquoise color. It is one of my most favorite colors. So I love purple, royal purple. It's my all-time favorite color. And then the teal turquoise is my next favorite. It reminds me of the Holy Spirit energy, the divine feminine energy. It's very flowy, it's very soft, there's movement to the color, and I always connected that color with Angel Sandalphon. Angel Sandalphon is known as the angel of music, and he's been kind of tapping me on the shoulder you need to talk about me, you need to talk about me. So I'm going to share how Sandalphon has come into my life and assisted. And then also, too, I'm going to share how you can utilize him if you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling stuck, and you need more flow and movement in your life. So I mentioned he's the angel of music. A few years ago, probably, I think maybe more like 8 years ago at this point, I was taking a training. So I live in Rhode Island, and I was taking a training in Maine, which I think it's about 2.5 hours away, the class that I was taking from where I lived. And so it was one of my first road trips going by myself. And I had an amazing class. Archangel Ariel helped me get there, helped me with the financial assistance. And so after the class, now it was a long weekend training. So when you get out of trainings like that, spiritual trainings, energy therapy trainings, a lot of times you just need to be grounded and come back to earth because you can become kind of in that airy-fairy energy for a while. So when I got in my car, getting ready to head home, I was searching for like rock and roll music, some music that could bring me down and grounded. Now, we have a station here in Rhode Island called 94 HJY, and so I was looking for a station like that because, when you're in another state, the stations are all different. So I was just doing a search. And I just put on a station. I was like, oh, this is grounding and this will keep me awake as I head home. And so as I'm driving, I'm asking the angels to clear the way for me. I'm asking them to assist on my journey home, that I get home safe. I was asking Archangel Michael to surround and protect my car. And then, I'm driving. And so, when I'm with myself, I have my armies of angels and my teams, and I like to play with them. Or I think it's the other way sometimes. I think they like to play with me. So I had this thought. I was like, angels, are you with me? Did I do a good job this weekend? Are you proud of me? And just as I was saying that in my head, I looked down at my tripometer in my car, and I saw the numbers 1111.4. And I laughed because ones are symbolism of like new beginnings. It's a gateway of new energy. Keep your thoughts positive. And the 4 is the angel number. So I laughed saying, oh, you guys are always with me. And it was instantaneous. Like I didn't even have to wait for a sign. The thought didn't even come out of my head yet. And when I saw the sign. And so as I'm laughing about the numbers, I tune into the song that's on the radio. And the song that was on the radio was Guns N' Roses' Knocking on Heaven's Door. And I just burst out laughing, thinking like they're teasing me because that's basically what I was doing. Like, hello, heaven, are you with me? Are you there? And so the song had been on, but I hadn't processed it yet because I was in that mental thinking. And so sometimes, it made me realize like there are signs all around us, but when we're in our head and we're thinking and analyzing, we can miss those things. So I just laughed. I thanked them for being funny and their assistance. And I just, went on my way. So now, probably like an hour later, hour and a half maybe at this point, I'm driving through Massachusetts. And I'm listening to now at this point what would be comparable to like a light rock 105. So there would be, I don't even know what kind of music it is. It's not rock and roll. It's not country. It's not pop. It's more like slower music. I can't really think of like artists, let's say. Anyway, I had what would be comparable to our light rock 105. And it was on, and so the song that was on had just ended. And I said, all right, smarty pants angels. I said, play me a song. And my intention was the next song that played on the radio, I wanted it to be like their song to me. So I was kind of leaving it up to the universe to pick a song that would resonate with me. And so what happened is they went to commercial, and then the DJ started talking, and I was laughing, and I was like, all right, you guys are prolonging this, or you're teasing me. And so the song came on, and ironically enough, it was a song I didn't even like. Like, it was a song that I was like, oh, I don't want to hear this. And it was to the point where it pushed me to like change the channel. And so I kind of laughed and I was like, oh, I'm not going to listen to this. Would you know? And it's funny because I was still in another state where my stations, my preset stations weren't the same as Rhode Island where I lived. And so I just kind of wanted to get rid of the song because it was kind of annoying. And I just hit one of my presets, just not even thinking. And I kid you not, the song that was on the radio was Guns N' Roses, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Again, this was like an hour and a half later, some random station that I was guided to. So it was interesting. So my thought was, it was so funny. Obviously, I'm knocking on heaven's door again, but it was almost like we're guiding this. And so I asked for them to play me a song. My intention for it was that station, and they were like, no, we have a better song on another station. So when I thought about everything that came up to that point, like the time it took for the song to play, the DJ talking, me asking and waiting, feeling inside like, oh, I don't like this song, I feel compelled to change the channel, and obviously I'm driving, so I just hit a random preset, and the one that I hit landed on Guns N' Roses, Knocking on Heaven's Door. And this is one of those stories that, I can't validate. It's not like I could document it or take a picture. It's just one of those stories that every time I think about, it just reminds me of the power and the magic behind this angelic energy. It was just so cool. And so the interesting thing is, so music has always uplifted me, and when I feel like I'm in a space where I'm disconnected and I'm not really sure of an answer, I always go to music and I ask the divine to speak to me through music. So if you've ever been driving or in your house and you've turned on the radio, and then all of a sudden, even if you've heard the song a million times, all of a sudden there's a lyric or a verse in the song that feels like it's speaking to you. That is Archangel Sandalphon connecting you with the resonance of a message from the divine, and you'll feel it because it'll touch your heart. Sometimes it'll move you to tears. Sometimes it'll be a lyric that's exactly what you needed to hear in the right way. And so know that Archangel Sandalphon is like the facilitator of those messages and of those signs, because something like that is something, it's not, it's not airy-fairy in a sense where like you can think about something and then hear it on the radio. It's kind of just as profound as numbers or letters or initials on a license plate connected to a loved one. So it's something that you can actually hear. It's like tangible to the sense of like you can document it, you can record it, and like this is what I was thinking and this what came on the radio. And so the angels know that sometimes we need just clear cut, this is the answer, this is the guidance, and this is a sign. So if you ever question, is this a sign? I'm not really sure if it's a sign. Chances are, if you're questioning it, it's a sign. And music is a powerful way to move energy. It's a powerful way if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling blocked. Like I said, just like I asked, play me a song. Like what love song? I think it was a love station, because I was like, what love song do you want to play me? And it really ended up being Guns N' Roses, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Which I love roses. I think roses are romantic. And in the moment, I was, basically knocking on heaven's door saying, hello, are you with me? And it's like profound things like that have strengthened my faith and my connection with the divine and God source, creator of the universe. It's so powerful. And I think so many of you at this point are in a space of developing your own relationship. And it has to come in your own way. So some people connect through animals, some people connect through numbers. And so Sandalphon has kind of been nudging at me to share this information about him. And I've been putting it off. I was supposed to do this podcast last week. I mean, I'm human. I get caught up in things. And sometimes I just get like self-conscious and, is this really what people want to hear? And, I doubt. So I have to say, your messages and your emails that you're sending on how these podcasts are helping and how much you're enjoying them, it really does help me to know that I'm on track, because sometimes I'm just sitting in my room sharing information, not really sure if it's going to land or not. So thank you for all of those who have reached out, who have asked for the podcast, who have shared their stories and how it's inspiring you. I really, truly appreciate it. And it also helps me, gives me guidance on what to share and what to offer and what to connect with and channel that can best help you and can suit you in the space that you're in now. And so I feel like there's been a lot of heaviness with emotions and feelings lately. We're here in May of 2019. It's a resurrection year. It's a transformation year. It's like a coming out of the ashes, the phoenix rising. So the universe knows that you really need clear-cut guidance, that you're being supported. Faith now more than ever, or leaning into our faith and leaning into the divine and co-creating together, is so powerful right now. And so Sandalphon has kind of been like, he's been popping up in my head. Music has been popping up in my head. I've been hearing songs in my head. So I don't necessarily hear music like outside of me, like I would hear like something on a radio. If a song's popping in my head, it almost like I'm singing something in my mind. So Sandalphon can also come to you in those ways as well. And some people, I woke up this morning with a song in my head, and I was like, all right, Sandalphon, I know today is the day I'm going to channel. Today is the day I'm going to invoke your energy and put your message out to the world. And I know it's all perfect and it's divine timing, and when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But the other night, so I love dance. I grew up tap dancing. Jazz was secondary for me, but I grew up a tap dancer. I tap danced right up until I was in my mid-20s. So I love music, and I have been watching Jennifer Lopez, Neo, and Derek Hough on World of Dance. I'm so inspired by dancers. The way that they can just move energy and inspire people is so empowering. So I was watching World of Dance, and it was the season finale. And it was a season finale. And there was two beautiful sisters who were dancing, and they had kind of like a powdered blue color that reminded me a little bit of Sandalphon. And as soon as their music started, friends, it was Guns N' Roses knocking on heaven's door. And I was like, that's it. I know, I hear you. And so, and I share that story because, I'm laughing, saying, I know I need to channel your message. I know I need to share you with the people about music and how it can be so beneficial and how it can be uplifting and inspiring and empowering. And I'm laughing because it's like a repetitive message, Guns N' Roses knocking on heaven's door. And so part of the message too is for us to ask. So the divine, even God's energy, they operate and they abide by the law of free will. So we have to ask. We have to open up space and to receive guidance and receive energy. So this is why prayer or meditation or asking the angels for assistance is so powerful, because you're in that moment, you're co-creating and you're giving them permission to work with you, through you, and all about you in space, and it kind of helps move energy. So in that moment when I heard that song, and I was like, okay, I know the story I need to say. I know how I need to channel the energy. And I think, let's say that was like a Sunday night, and now it is Thursday. So it still took me another 3 days. And I say this and I laugh because sometimes some of you might be procrastinating on things. You might be getting all the signs, but it's the human part of you that needs to take in initiative and just sit down and get the work work done or send the email or make the phone call or respond to the email. So, I share this with you. So the universe, or no, the divine will keep nudging, so I didn't feel like Sandalphon was harassing me. I didn't feel like they were condemning me. I didn't feel like they were pushing me or shaming me. I just felt they were nudging and lovingly reminding me of the work, reminding me, almost like kind of keeping me on track. Like, hey girl, I know you want to watch this YouTube video, but we got some messages to put out. We got some guidance to put out. So let's do that. And then you can go back to playtime. So it's all loving. So we are, as a collective, Earth Angel Collective, we are moving out of the space of the vengeful God. Like, oh, we got to fear God. And oh, if you don't do this, you'll get punished. And there's this big, massive shift to the loving God. God loves us and he's for us. And it really was a beautiful message that Jesus was putting out in his mission. Like, God is within the heart and he's with you all the time. And he's this beautiful energy and he's here to deliver us and bring us into this beautiful space of love. And on top of it, I've been channeling messages for people where we're in a state of a 9-year cycle. It started in 2017 and it will go to 2025 where we're reintegrating the energy of true love back on the planet. And I'm going to talk more about this in other podcasts because it's a major movement that's happening that, not a lot of people are aware of, but they're going through it through their feelings. So their shifts and their changes in soul groups. I think I did a podcast touching on this subject last year, the separation of the soul groups. And so we're getting back to this space of the essence of love, self-love at the core, being a whole being, balanced in your masculine and feminine energy within. So whether you're a boy or girl, you embody a masculine and feminine energy within. One's more dominant than the other. So I think I've mentioned that I really, truly resonate with the divine feminine energy. And so music is a way for me to tap into that essence of divine feminine because for a lot of years, I was dialed into my masculine energy, so many goals, so many connected to money and goals and being driven, but it wasn't my true essence. So I was getting burnt out and I was getting tired all the time. And so when I was asking for assistance, like, okay, God, I can't keep going like this. Something needs to shift. Like, what is the answer? And then I just started seeing divine feminine energy and I started seeing people channeling about divine feminine, and music has been really inspiring for me, reminding me of my childhood and growing up and dancing. And so music can be very flowy. It can be very rhythmatic, and it can embrace movement. So if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling feelings like anger, resentment, bitterness, low self-esteem, worth and value, that is a big energy that caregivers, healers, light workers, what I identify as earth angels, are going through right now in this May 2019 energy. So music can be very, very uplifting. Now, I have to say, there's always a light and a shadow part. So there are parts of the music industry that are shallow, that can be manipulative, that can plant unhealthy seeds. So you really want to be mindful of the music you're listening to make sure that it's empowering you in that empowering you in that time frame or that period. So you can ask Archangel Sandalphon to surround you and protect you with music that will inspire, uplift you, comfort you, support you, teach you. It's so powerful because, there are points when I love rock and roll. I love Ozzy, and I love Guns N' Roses, and I love Poison, and I love Metallica. I can even go to the degree of loving Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson. I've always loved, if you're a musician, drop D and drop C guitar. I love that sound. But I have to say, if I'm in a sensitive place, I can't listen to that music because it'll make me anxious. And then there are other times when I can listen to airy fairy, gospel, chant music, and there are other times where I was like, no, I just can't. It'll lift me up too much, and I need something that's very grounded. So I have a very diverse background in music of what I like, but I'm also tapped in and conscious of what feels right in the moment. Just like that song, when I was on my way home driving through Massachusetts, that song was just, I wasn't feeling it. I don't even remember what the song was. And I love all songs, but in that moment, it was just something that just didn't really resonate with me. So I took action. I just shifted the channel and boom, there was that amazing song. And then, like I said, as Sandalphon has wanted me to talk about him, that song came on again through World of Dance. So the universe is going to be able to reach you wherever you're at. If you're at a ball game, if you're at a football game, basketball game, even if you're on a field with kids, if you're out at the mall, if you're driving, the universe will reach you, but you have to be present and aware. Signs are always in the present moment. So if your mind is so far in the future and so far in the past, you're going to miss what's happening in the present moment. So also too, Angel Sandalphon is the angel that he works with. So he's the angel that helps consistent prayers reach God as well. So he assists with prayers. And so he works with people who maybe go into nursing homes. There are people who go to churches and they take the bread from the church, the host, and they'll take it and they'll go into hospitals, or they'll go into nursing homes, or they'll go places where people can't go to church, and they're always praying for people. So if you're somebody who's out there in the world and you're serving the sick, or you're bringing them messages of spirituality and faith, and so people who are in those positions are usually people who are being asked to pray for them. So if you're somebody who gets a lot of prayer requests, like, oh, can you pray for me? Oh, can you assist me? Sometimes it can be overwhelming, and it can be this responsibility of like, I need to pray for this one and that one, and I need to take care of this one's family and that one's family through my own prayers and assistance. And, if you're on social media and there are people going through difficult times and they're saying, pray for us, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So when that happens, because I'm definitely in that position and I'm always getting people for prayer requests and things like that, because really the power in numbers. And I think this is the beauty of organized prayer, like people getting together and praying together is the power, because it escalates or intensifies the vibration. So I always think that it's beautiful in the right space, in the right atmosphere for you. So if you're one that's asked to pray for others, you can invite Sandalphon in your life, and he will always make sure that those prayers instantaneously will always go, so that you can have freedom knowing that just the intention, yes, as you receive the prayer request, just the intention goes right up and out. And I always see Sandalphon at the bottom of an escalator, and I feel like he gets like all the prayer requests in this big basket, and then he just takes them right up. So know that you don't have to be responsible for all these prayer requests, that Sandalphon is also working with you. And I mentioned he's this beautiful turquoise teal color. So wearing turquoise, wearing the teal color is very feminine. It's very flowy. Even though he's depicted it as a masculine energy, he comes through very soft and warm and healing and loving and very gentle. So this podcast is for those of you out there who may be feeling the feelings. You may be feeling stuck. You might be feeling emotional. And, Angel Sandalphon is saying, hey, he's praying for you. He's praying with you. If you start seeing that teal color, that turquoise color around, know that he's guiding you to what do I want to say? He's guiding you to sunnier days, sunshine, warmth, peace. It's like that elevation of that phoenix energy, phoenix rising, that resurrection. We just coming out of the Easter energy and going into ascension. So a lot of us are expanding in that way, and music can be a tool that can assist you on your journey. So keep your ears open. Pay attention to the repetitive songs that you hear over and over. And sometimes if you're not sure what the message is, ask Archangel Sandalphon to be a little more clear about it. And let me know if you start hearing Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses. It's an awesome song. It's one of my favorites, and it's so empowering when it connects you to the angels. All right, friends, so that's my podcast. I am welcoming myself back. I'm hoping to get back to my every other Thursday schedule again. Like I said, I have a list of topics that I want to talk about. If you have any topics or you have any ideas, or if I've touched on something that you want to know more about, please feel free to send me an email. Reach out to me. I have a brand new website that I just launched. So there's a contact form on my contact page where you can submit a question. So you can do that. It's super easy. I offer sessions all over the world. I do Skype, FaceTime, now Facebook Messenger has video chat, phone sessions, in-office sessions if you're in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, or Connecticut. So connect with me if I can support you in some way. I mentioned a YouTube channel I started. It's called Heavenly Hugs, just like my podcast. So you can Google Heavenly Hugs, Gladys Ellen on YouTube, and you should find me if you're interested in cards. Again, it's another beautiful way to relay messages from the divine, very inspiring, very uplifting. They're always positive. I use oracle cards. I'm not a tarot reader. It's something that oracle cards is something that I was guided to, and it's again another tool that can offer us support. And I'm just really enjoying it. So connect with me there. Connect with me on social media. And I look forward to sharing more information with you. So if you haven't heard it yet today, or nobody's told you, God loves you. You're such a loved being of light. Thank you for showing up in the world. I love you. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Heavenly Hugs with Gladys Ellen. Gladys invites you to join her on Facebook and Instagram, where she continues to teach and inspire. If this podcast was helpful and you would like to experience more, Gladys offers private sessions at her office, as well as over the phone and via Skype. Connect with loved ones in the afterlife. Explore past lives with past life regression therapy. Or receive clarity about your life purpose, love, relationships, prosperity, and more with spiritual intuitive sessions. Book your appointment online anytime at GladysEllen.com.